Right, and we're live, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for dedicating your time to us here at Netready. We're in the Netready studios down here in Cape Town, South Africa. We appreciate you. I'm Stuart Calder. I'm Vice President for International Sales and Marketing at Netready. And for a living, we provide multi-level marketing insights to company owners so that they may support people all across the world, putting food on the table and a roof overhead. How beautiful is that introduction? How are you,
that
Richard?
was excellent. Well done. Well done.
Are you keeping well?
Yeah, no, I'm doing good.
Beautiful.
So what do you think of our new setup?
I love it. I absolutely love it. We actually look like professionals now.
Yeah.
Like we know what we're speaking about.
Almost.
And I mean, we can just do one of these and I'm
Yeah, they're
happy.
nice.
Sound
Yeah.
quality is beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping everyone out there is experiencing the same or the better sound quality than our previous episodes. And as with our content that we're putting out in the multi-level marketing industry, we're always trying to ramp up the experience and information that we provide to our people. So how you been keeping? Good.
Yeah, no, good. Good.
Strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I see you all day every day, so I should know how you're keeping. But there we go.
Yeah, but working our guts out with the new warehouse, that's
Wow.
been interesting.
There's a lot of learnings that go into something like that. And I can see that someone going into this industry as a company owner, you have to become an expert in that field. And that's just one department of all the departments that you're running within MLM.
Yeah, look, this has been a big learning curve. I've run a warehouse before.
Yeah.
But obviously we're trying to set this one up to run at scale. So the sort of goal is to be able to, pack 20, 30, 40,000 orders a month. And so we're setting it up to run at scale. And that's a completely different ball game.
Right. Right.
So there's one thing when you're picking a couple of hundred orders a day. When you're picking thousands of orders a day, you need systems that are robust.
Sure.
And the problem with these businesses is that you can go like what happened with one of our clients from Galelo. They went from 0 sales in January last year to 20,000 orders a month
Right.
by November. So that business ramped very, very fast. And now when you suddenly packing 20,000 orders a month, it's serious.
For me, the toughest thing to understand is projections. How do I know how many people are going to come into my business in month 1, month 5, and month 10?
No, you don't.
You
That's
don't.
the problem.
The network becomes an animal. So you need to be equipped with the right suppliers to be able to provide that stock on hand so that you can distribute to your customers. But you also have to have that cash flow available in which to fund the production and the manufacturing.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of my friends who I've known for donkey's years said to me, you get up every morning and you run like hell to stop the animal you've created from eating you. And that's kind of what it feels like when you get into the MLM space. Because when this thing goes, it just goes at epic pace. You actually can't believe how these businesses grow. And so, I mean, we say to our clients all the time, you need to be geared for massive volumes.
Sure.
So from a point of view of systems, you can't start implementing systems once this business is underway. It's a little bit like trying to change a fire hydrant without turning off the main water supply.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's a complete mess.
You can't do it. And so when you set these businesses up, you need to have the right warehouse software, you need to have the right accounting software, you need to have the right MLM and network marketing software, and you need to be geared for growth. So
Right.
if you're only packing one order, then that's not a problem. But if you're packing 30,000 orders, your systems need to scale to cope with those volumes.
Right.
And so now we're setting this stuff up for Dream Team.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is that we have to, before we sell our first product, we're gearing the entire process, the entire system flow. Everything is geared to packing 100,000 orders a month. And we've got to do that before we sell the first order.
Right.
Now, and another thing I like to say to the clients is, if you fail, absolutely any system is good enough. But if you succeed, you had better be on the right systems. Because if you succeed and this thing goes and you're on the wrong systems, you're gone. You're under.
Yeah.
Because if the systems can't cope, you don't fulfill. If you don't fulfill, your clients get disenchanted with you and they just leave. They don't even complain. They just leave. And you just lose your network, you lose your customers. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, in this space, you have this army of volunteers, These are not salaried employees. So if you mess up through one of those departments, if it's the systems, if it's delivering, if it's whatever it may be,
Exactly.
they're gone. Just like
Exactly.
that. And you
Exactly.
only have one chance. You can't recover from something like that. And
No.
we've had clients that have made those mistakes and have not recovered. Hundreds of thousands of people in the network, and there's, overnight you can lose everyone.
Yeah. Oh, everybody gone. Just
Yeah.
literally, as you say, overnight.
Right.
So it's been, so we are now setting up the Dream Team project, and every part of it, I'm realizing just, it's one thing when you're advising a client, okay, you need to do these things. When you start doing these things yourself, and I mean, it's a long time since I ran my own MLM company.
Yeah.
And I'm busy starting these things up from the ground up. We've got our team doing it from base level up.
Yeah.
You realize that this is intense. I mean, this is just
It's the animal.
but there's a lot of moving parts. For example, in the warehouse, every single rack, every single row, every single bay, every single level, every single bin has got to have a special number. That number's got to be tied back to the software. So when you put a product into stock, when you do the put away, you've got to know that there's 500 units on this shelf in this bay, in this row, and you've got to know that they're there.
Yeah.
And when you pack them and send them away, you've got to know that those things have been decremented and out. So the entire barcoding process and all of that, it's actually intense.
Yeah. And you've had a lot of fun with the barcoding process.
Don't even talk. Don't
Sorry, I didn't mean to
even
ruin your day.
talk.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's move on from this.
Okay.
I think what we're here for today is the theme for our event on our episode is multi-level marketing is a real and the ultimate business. So what do we mean by that? I mean, we've got a whole bunch of things that I've put down. We reference Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow Quadrant book.
Yes.
And when just everyone's watching out there, we're going to put the link to the Audible as well as to the Kindle, so you can download the file. It's a great book. It's a book that we think everyone should read because it gives you insight into the 4 quadrants that the employed world lives within.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So we're going to get into that, and I want to touch base on all 4 of those quadrants. But before we do that, I want us to just touch on, what do you want from a business? What do you want from a real business? What is your ideal business? So if you can give me just a couple elements that would make for you the ideal business, I would love to hear.
Yeah, okay. So for me, there's a couple of the difference between a business and a job is fundamentally, in a business, I don't want to have a boss. I want to be able to take a year off and my business must still run perfectly because it's managed by good people. I want to be surrounded by epic people. So I want to have people that are smarter than me running the business. I want to have enough cash to do whatever it is I want. So there needs to be positive cash flow. I'd love to be involved in products where my integrity remains intact. So many people sell products where they don't really believe in it.
Right.
And where's the integrity in that? So I'd like to have that as a sort of basis. And really the bottom line is, and for me, the difference between a business is either having a company where I'm not the magic, where there's management in place, where there's systems in place, and where I can actually watch what's going on instead of doing the work. I mean, many years ago, my dad, who had a huge business, they were doing carbon products back in the day, and he had the biggest producer of carbon products in the Southern Hemisphere, so like a huge company. And he said to me that you need to work yourself out of a job. He said, you don't have a business until the day you can play golf 7 days a week.
Wow.
He said, when you can play golf 7 days a week, then you have a business. If you have to go to work, then you don't have a business, you have a job. You might be employing yourself, but you have a job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I love those points, and I've just taken some time to write down my points. I'm going to fly through them here.
Go for it.
But a lot of the points you mentioned.
Let me hear.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Give it
yeah.
to me.
One of them is no boss, so I'm sorry about that.
You really feel that I'm your boss?
Well, no.
No, I didn't think so.
You're first
You
and
certainly
foremost.
don't act like I am, so that's cool.
I was going to say first and foremost a friend,
Yes.
then a mentor, and then my colleague.
Yes, exactly.
So I've put a couple here. My first one is surrounded by positive people. I want this interaction. I want, the interaction.
Well, we've got an epic team.
We have an awesome team here. So at Netready and Dream Team, we have that. We have what you mentioned is great products or services. I want to be selling the right products that appeal to me. Unlimited income. I don't want to be capped by a salary.
True.
Residual income, which
That
is
would be
exactly
nicer.
what you're saying. As a business owner, being able to play golf 7 times a week.
7 days a week, yeah.
Not
Not 7 times a week.
Yeah,
7 days a week. You might be playing 20, 30 times in that, but
can't do
7
it.
days.
Maybe when I was 18. With the kids now, it's just too much. Then I had time freedom, which is what you mentioned. I want to have the time to myself.
Yeah.
Decide on my own schedule and diary. Doing something meaningful. Is it not true that we all look for this meaning of life, this purpose?
What is it called? Self-actualization.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Personal growth. Every day needs to be better than the previous. I need to grow in my role. I need to grow in my team's role. And I need to challenge myself. International travel perks. I thought you were going to mention this one.
Yeah, geez, I didn't mention that, but I should have. Yeah. Look, I mean, that I love traveling. So why the dickens didn't I mention that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not well.
Low risk
Yeah.
and low startup cost. I mean, those are two very big things. And I think the viewers and the listeners out there are going, well, this is the making of a network marketing business. So
yeah, well, look, we are trying to talk to people about multi-level marketing.
Sure.
So I would say that they probably have picked it up somewhere along the line. They might have gleaned the insight there.
The aha moments should have happened long ago.
Yeah.
The last thing is fun. I want to have a
Epic
great time.
fun, yeah.
How much time am I spending in my role, in my office, in doing my work? That I just need to have fun. I need to enjoy myself. Because a big portion of my life is spent working. If I'm not having fun.
Agreed.
Okay. So what did you think?
So look, I mean, those are exactly all of those. They resonate with me. So yeah. Especially the traveling internationally.
Yes, yeah. I was very surprised.
Put me in your bag and take me
there
with
we
you,
go.
please.
I mean, one of our clients now is taking, 3,000 people?
3,500 people. He booked the whole ship.
He booked the whole ship, cruising from Durban's ports to the Portuguese islands and back.
Yeah, amazing.
How beautiful. And I know you went on a big trip to Disney World and went to Hawaii. And
I haven't been to Hawaii.
You haven't been to Hawaii?
No. That's something we want to do with the Dream Team.
Yes.
So definitely Hawaii is on the list.
Okay.
I've never been there, though.
Bucket list
been
stuff.
to 45 countries, but never to Hawaii. How rude.
Wow.
Well, Hawaii is not a country. It's just a state, but
Yes.
you know what I mean.
Yes. Okay. Let's get into the Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. I know he speaks about these 4 quadrants that employed or business people fall within.
Yes.
Right? So let's talk about
people fall within.
Yeah. So let's talk about the first quadrant, which is the employee, which makes up 60% of the total workforce of people.
Yeah, and look, there's nothing wrong with having a job. So it's wonderful. If that's the space you're working in, for many people, that's what makes them happy. They want to know what they have to do. They want to go and do it every day. They're in that little bubble. They feel comfortable. They're within their comfort zone, and they're happy with that. I've got no problem with that. But one thing is for sure, it's not a way to gain a lot of spare time and extra cash.
Sure.
Generally, a job, even if it's an extremely well-paid job, you might be cash rich, but your time poor.
Right.
Because the boss, for some reason, doesn't pay you if you don't pitch up to work.
That's strange.
Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that.
It's really pathetic.
Yeah, I did it once and I went, oh dear.
So the problem with jobs is that for the vast majority of people, they've got a bit of month left over at the end of the money.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Right.
The vast majority of people are not earning enough money from their jobs. And it's not because they are not worth the extra money. It's because they're getting paid what the job is worth, not what they're worth.
Right.
So that fundamentally is the problem with a job. Generally, you've got no time or money. If you happen to have a really well-paying job, then you got money but no time because you committed. You get your 22 days or whatever it is leave every year, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I would say that people need to move away from having a job. So what a lot of people do is Quadrant 2 there. What is it?
Which is self-employed.
So
which makes up 35%
So 35% of people think, oh, the way to actually set yourself free is to go and buy a franchise or start a small business or become a professional, go and get a degree and become a lawyer or a doctor or a surgeon or an engineer or whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, when you're self-employed, you're actually working for the biggest a-hole on the planet, which is yourself.
Yourself, yep.
And when you work for yourself, you really are a hard taskmaster.
Yeah.
I mean, you will pay yourself last. You will work the longest hours. If there's problems, you're the one who takes care of them. If there's money problems, you're the one who puts yourself at risk.
Yeah.
So as a result, those are difficult. And franchising is a prime example.
We know how you feel about franchising.
Yeah, look, if you're looking to own a job, that's a way to own a job. But for me, when I look at franchising, what I see is that the guy pays somebody for a job and lots of money.
Yeah.
And then they work their guts out because that oak, the franchisor, got their thumb on your neck or their foot on your neck, and they make sure you do everything according to how they want it done.
Yeah.
And better you not stray because you're in trouble. You get fined or you're out.
Yeah.
And so it's really the franchising world is a very difficult one to be in. A friend of mine had a franchise. I'm not going to mention the name Wimpy here.
Sure.
But he said to me that he had to be there when he opened up. He had to be there when he closed. He had to watch the cameras all the time. Otherwise, the staff would steal him blind.
Yeah.
He said it was a very, very difficult business to be in. And when he told me what he earned, and I'm not going to, repeat it, but he said to me what he was earning, most people earn more in a job.
Yeah.
I said, well, why are you doing it? He said, well, he didn't realize what the implications were when he got going, So
that's scary. Yeah.
Yeah. You can make good money out of running franchises. But, some of them generate good money, but you're working your guts out. You're time poor. You might be, again, financially rich, but you're time poor. You don't have the time. You can't just take off a year and think that your franchise is still going to be running when you get back. It won't.
It certainly is a level up from being an employee, thinking that you now own this business. But in actual fact, you have purchased a job. You've purchased a blueprint of how to run, what to say, what to do, how to serve. It is a complete blueprint of your job, your role.
Exactly. And take a surgeon, for example.
Yeah.
They earn really good money, but understand that they are working incredibly long hours. A friend of ours, a doctor, and he was just telling me that they work unbelievably long hours. They can be in surgery until 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and the thing is they get paid by the hour. So they are encouraged to work extremely long hours. And when they go on holiday for a month, he says he sits on the beach thinking, every hour that I sit on the beach is costing me thousands and thousands of rands every hour.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't enjoy his holidays because of the amount of money he's losing purely because he's sitting on the beach and not actually working.
It would give me serious anxiety. That's the opportunity cost. That's horrible because I'm lying on the beach. I'm not earning anything, but I could be earning X amount per hour.
So again, cash rich in that case, but time poor.
Yeah. I have to be there. My physical presence is required for me to fulfill.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think we know where we're going here. So the next section that I want to discuss is Quadrant 3, which is being a business owner. And that makes a 4%.
Yes. So as we mentioned earlier, the business owner is the guy who has a business that basically runs itself. What he's doing is he's leveraging systems and he's leveraging people.
Yeah.
So he owns the business. Maybe he's the chairman of the board or whatever. And he's got management in all of the key positions. He's got systems in play. And the business is systemized and well managed, and it just runs itself, whether he's there or not. So he can take a holiday, he can go away for a year. When he comes back, the business will be running the way it should, probably better because he's away. In my case, it would be running better if I was out of the picture, probably. But that's how business works. If you are not the magic, then you have a business.
Yes.
As soon as you have to be engaged, you have a job, you own a job.
Yeah.
So whenever you have a business of any kind, what you should be looking to do is saying, well, how do I leverage systems and people to make myself redundant, to make myself inconsequential in the greater picture? And that's when you can do that. That's when you have a business. So that's where people should be. That's the 4%.
So, and what sort of example can you give us there? I guess something like a supermarket retail
Yeah, retail chain. Take the Pick and Pay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know who owns Pick and Pay now, but it
Yes.
used to be Raymond Ackerman.
Yes.
I mean, if he doesn't go to work, Pick and Pay doesn't stop running.
Yeah.
It makes no difference whether he's there or not, because he's got proper management in play, people doing the job, people doing the work. He doesn't have to think about it. Oh, it's like Netready.
Yeah.
If I'm not here, it will make zero difference to how Netready runs.
Yeah.
Nothing. I could take a year off. It would make no difference. The people in play here, you, Kirsten, the guys, the team, run this business perfectly without me. We've got IT people in place, you know what they're doing. We've got ops people in place, you know what they're doing. Support, sales, marketing. I don't have to be here. And
Right.
that is a business,
Right.
you know.
The warehouse needs you right now. Please don't leave out that.
The warehouse needs me right now, because
Right now.
what we're doing is we've created a totally new segment to our business, which needs my attention.
Sure.
But I promise you, as soon as that is up and running, I will have the right people in play there.
Yep.
Once I've got all of the wrinkles ironed out, that business will run. I can take my hands off and it'll run smoothly. And we've got a brilliant warehouse manager who's
brilliant.
going to be handling all of that side of things. So
Yeah.
super excited about that.
Yeah.
But again, everything I do is geared to making me redundant. I'm not
Yeah.
the magic in this business.
Yeah. By leveraging people and
People and
systems.
systems.
Okay. Let's go into the final quadrant, the fourth quadrant, which is the investor. And that only makes up 1% of the total.
Yeah, so there's a key point here that people in business or self-employed or employed, not all, but the vast majority of them. The reason there's only 1% of the planet is living off investments is because the vast majority of people have got no discipline, no fiscal discipline.
Right.
Now, whether you're a secretary or you're running a business, what happens is you make a certain amount of money every month.
Yeah.
Now, most people will live to their means. So they'll buy fancy cars and fancy houses and eat out in fancy restaurants and travel overseas and blah, 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 blah. And as a result, they don't have the cash to invest enough money into investments to actually live without actually having to work. And so even people who are earning serious money, all that they do is they show off their money by driving fancy cars and living in fancy houses. But there's a few people around the world who have got the discipline to put the money aside and invest in areas where where they have enough money put away so that the money generates enough cash for them to live comfortably.
Sure.
And
So what are
that's
you
only
leveraging
1%
then?
Money.
Yeah. So we leverage money to make money.
So that's it. As an investor, money makes money. As a business owner, you leveraging systems and people. When you're running a franchise or you've got a job, you're leveraging your time. So and if you're leveraging your time poor.
Right.
You might have money, but you're time poor.
Yeah.
As soon as you get into business, now you're time rich and money rich. And then if you are sensible and you live small and you take that cash and put it away, you can very quickly be in a point where you set yourself free.
Sure. And setting yourself free is, we're speaking about retirement here as well.
Well, yeah, for me, it's not about retirement. It's about choices and options. You know, I don't think I will ever retire. I can't see that as my future.
I can't see it either.
Yeah. But the thing is that I want the option to be able to pursue the things that I love.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent 20 years as a musician, and for the last 20 years, I haven't done anything with that, but I'd love to get back into it. I want to get a pilot's license.
Yeah.
I want to travel the world again. I've been, to a lot of countries, but there's a lot I haven't been to, and I want to, travel the world. I want to drive a camper van from Cape Town to London. So there's all of these things that I'm super keen to do, but you can't do those things when you've got the constraints of a job or a franchise or being a professional and having to earn your money.
Right.
So now what's happening is with as you know with Netready, that opens up. I've got an opportunity to do things like that because the business is running itself, and obviously I'm squirreling. I live very small.
Yeah.
You see the car I drive.
Yes.
Shame. Everybody sees my car, they feel sorry for me.
What's the term? Skodonk.
Yeah, that's right. They see
That's
my
your
car
term.
and they feel sorry for me, and I see their car and I feel sorry for them.
Exactly. Well, exactly.
You know. Anyway.
Okay. Well, so I mean, we've understood the 4 quadrants, and we'd love the people listening and watching out there to get Robert Kiyosaki's book, understand the 4 quadrants, because I think there's a lot of information in there that you will relate to either of those quadrants and aspire to be in the third and then the fourth.
Yes.
So please get that book. We definitely recommend it here at Netready. The next thing I want to get into is what's actually required to set up an MLM company.
Yeah, so owning an MLM company is genuinely a license to print money. If you do it right, you can generate obscene amounts of money. The average MLM company's got about 30,000 agents. They're doing probably 1,000 Rand a month turnover. In South Africa, it's a bit less than that, but internationally, it can be anything up to 2,500 Rand a month, you know. So per member. So if you've got 30,000 people doing $1,000, that is
$30 million.
So let's work in Rand, because
Yes.
$30 million is out of the ballpark.
Yes.
So 30,000 people, 1,000 Rand, you're making 30 million.
Which is $2 million.
month. Okay, times 12 months,
Yes.
360 million Rand.
Wow.
Now that is serious money, and with 360 million Rand coming in, you can put together proper management. You can queue up all of the key people that you need, and you can actually run a proper business. So running an MLM company definitely gives you the ability to set up a proper business. But the two things: one, it's expensive, because if you think about what you've got to set up, I mean, just think about what we got here. It's
Right. Yeah.
support and accounting
Yeah.
and operations and warehousing and software and systems and what else?
Yeah. The technology.
Yeah,
Having technology in place, doing the manufacturing.
manufacturing.
Yeah.
So
Having
you've got
stock.
and stock, and how much stock? If you're selling 30 million a month, you probably have to have 60, 70 million rands of the stock sitting
Right.
on your floor.
Yeah.
So it's capital intensive. You need to have a real skills.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is that you can, as an individual, and I think we can drop into that now.
Right. Yes.
As an individual, you can leverage all of that, all of the systems that the companies put in place without having to actually buy them. And that's what makes MLM a real business. It's not that you have the overheads or you have the capital invested. That's not what makes a real business.
Yes.
Real business is leveraging systems and people. That's what a real business is. I am not the magic. I leverage systems. I leverage businesses, people. Now, in terms of the MLM space, we've got systems. You've got IT systems and warehouses and all of that. And if I join the company, I'm leveraging all of the company systems. So I don't have to invest in them to leverage them. And generally, a company will give you around about 30% in retail commission just because you are leveraging their systems and selling their products. So what happens is I come along, I get my replicated e-commerce website, I get some marketing collateral from the business, I get some training, I go out there and I market the website. I market the products. Okay? Then orders come in, the company helps, orders come in, and the company picks it, they pack it, they ship it, they handle the returns, they deal with the money, all the rest of it. So they deal with everything. I'm doing nothing there. I'm leveraging their systems. I get up to 30% commission. So if I've got 100 people just doing 500 rands a month, I'm earning like 15 grand a month in retail commission without physically having to own a single bit of the entire infrastructure that the company's put behind. And in actual fact, what does it cost to join one of these companies? $100 or 500-600 rands, whatever.
It's a low capital investment.
Peanut investment, like extremely low overheads. Obviously, if I do nothing, I'm worth nothing and I get paid nothing. But if I work and I do what the company's telling me and I leverage those systems effectively, I make myself money.
Right.
So there's the first thing, leveraging systems. And the second thing that makes this a business is you can leverage people.
That's the magic.
That's the magic, because I recruit you. You have your e-commerce site, you have your customers, you are buying the products and selling them on, or people are buying from you online. Every time somebody buys product from you, I earn a percentage. Depending on how big my team is, I can earn a very big percentage. Some companies will pay you 20, 30% based on what is happening in the network. And that's what makes this so magic, because once I've established 10 solid leaders, now that takes a lot of work. You've got to train them, motivate them, keep them going, make sure that they're doing what they're doing, etc. Once I have 10 leaders, then what happens is I'm leveraging people, and I'm leveraging systems, and I'm not the magic. And I can now step away from this business, and it will run whether I'm there or not.
Right.
These people have all they're all self-motivated. They're all self-funded. They're all excited about the business. So I'm leveraging their activities and their time, and I'm leveraging the company's systems, and I can step back, and that's a real business. Now, obviously, as in any business, if you don't do the necessary work in the beginning to get yourself there, you will never have a business. I don't care who you are.
And this is where I was going to get in, is that the training needs to happen. If it's in a traditional business, you're going to go through a whole series of training to get that manager to a point where they can manage their department that they're going to be running.
Exactly.
Now, the people that you bring into the network that you're going to soon leverage from, they need to be optimally trained. They need to be supported. They need to have all the knowledge that you have to be duplicated into them, so that you can take your hands off the wheel and then leverage both systems.
But just think, if you go and buy a franchise, how much training do you go through?
Extensive
training. And why do you go through it? Well, you're a couple of bar in, so you want to make sure you understand how to do the business, because you don't want to lose your money.
Right.
So you head down, arse up. You do that's in terms of a duck, okay?
Aha.
Head down, arse up. Okay, you got me.
Okay, got you, yeah.
Don't want to get myself into trouble here. Okay, so the bottom line is you work your guts out, because a couple of bars in, you know that if you don't learn how to do this business, you're going to go under.
Yeah.
And so you work like a Trojan to get yourself to a point you understand how the systems work and you understand how everything works. If you get into the multi-level marketing space, the fact that you've only spent a couple of $100 or a few $100 shouldn't change the fact that you have got the same, if not better, well, not the same, a 10 times better opportunity than any franchise out there.
Yeah.
You've still got to put in the same amount of work, though. You're not going to be successful without putting in the graft. But I promise you, you've got no overhead, or nominal, I mean microscopic overheads, but you're generating a big chunk of the company's turnover comes to you.
Yeah. Well, we speak about when you leverage the system. I've got 5 points here that we came up with, this, which is there's a low capital investment, which you just spoken about, but my break-even points on my investment to my earnings, that happens very quickly.
No, one customer. You're doing this thing part-time initially, so you have one customer, you've broken even.
Right. What stress levels do I have? Next to nothing. There's obviously an element of stress, having to find the people to build into your list and prospect and then approach.
Well, there's no stress there.
There's no stress.
There are systems and processes that make that side of the business super easy.
Yeah.
Do this, and that will be the result.
Yeah.
You just got to follow the training.
Yeah. This comes to a point where we keep harboring on this about training. If you can provide your people with the right scripts, how to prospect, how to approach, how to use the company tools, and how to close, if you can have the blueprint that we spoke about,
exactly,
then what is the stress? I know exactly what I need to do in order to have a successful business.
Yeah, and so what you want to do with your training as an MLM company, for the CEOs out there, you need to have the training in play that the person who joins can literally implement exactly what you say, and at the end of the day, out will come the result.
Right.
They need to be able to prospect on demand. They need to be able to find customers and downline members on demand. It mustn't be a case of, I've got my sister, my brother, my uncle, and if they join, I failed. There's got to be proper training involved there. Yeah.
The prospecting for me, I think it's because I'm in sales and in marketing, that's the most exciting. And every moment, every touch point with another person needs to be a prospecting opportunity.
Yeah, and again, in my opinion, everything needs to be systemized.
Yes.
So if I approach you, there needs to be a system in play that I can easily implement and that I can duplicate 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
So an example is, I approach you. I say, hey, Stuart, I don't have a lot of time. Okay, but you're an amazing guy. and I've got a really cool business I've just joined. If I send you a link, will you take a look at it?
Yeah, sure, Richard.
So there's exactly the process now. That's real simple. Anybody can do that.
And I'm not held by anything.
No.
Yes, of course I'll take a look.
Of course I'll take a look at it.
What's the commitment? Yeah.
No commitment. Then I say, when do you think you'll be able to look at it for sure?
Friday.
So if I give you a call on Saturday, you'll have looked at it for sure, right?
Yes, I would.
Excellent. I'll call you on Friday. Got to run. Cheers. Boom. Or cheers. Got to run.
Yeah.
Now, that sentence there is a process that I can do with anybody at any time. Anytime. I can do it with a receptionist. I can do it with a waiter. I can do it with a guy fixing my car. I can do it with a guy grooming my dog. I can do it with my sister, my uncle, my brother, my brother's friend, anybody. It's a really simple process. So the point of the matter I'm trying to get here is part of the systems I'm leveraging is how to do things. What are the processes I put in play? And then if I can do it myself and teach my people to do it, off they go.
Right.
Same thing with the LinkedIn stuff that you're training on.
Yeah.
You can teach people how to reach out on LinkedIn, what exactly to say. There's literally a closing ratio of if you approach this many people, you get that many new members to your business.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then you can build yourself a massive business, leveraging systems, but leveraging the knowledge of how to utilize the systems and getting the training done.
Right. You've given me an idea. Next week, we're going to speak about prospecting and the ways in which you do it, the scripting, all of the elements that can build a lead list and lead to greater conversions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Specifically around social media and how to leverage social media. That's a good idea.
And I mean, especially LinkedIn. I mean, Forbes.com has said that LinkedIn has a greater lead creation rate, actually a 277 greater rate than any other social platform.
Yes.
277%.
So for recruiting people, 270% more effective at recruiting people than any other social media
than a platform like Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, that's powerful.
It's powerful.
Okay, so we'll tap into ways next week.
Exactly.
I'm excited about that.
Me too.
Okay, cool. The next thing is fun. I mean, within MLM, we're having engaging conversations of new connections. We're going to events with like-minded people where passion is at an all-time high. I mean, I've seen these events. I've seen what Amway's done. It's so exciting.
Exactly.
And everyone's having a great time because they are these like-minded individuals.
Exactly.
And my time commitment. So it's coming back to what do I want from a real business? I'm getting my time back. If I'm leveraging people and systems, I can afford myself the time to play golf 7 days a week.
If you want to, yeah. And that's the dream, isn't it?
That's the dream.
Yeah. So when I look at multi-level marketing, for me, this business is the ultimate real business. And it really irritates me when people say, it's a scam or it's a pyramid scheme or any of those kind of things, because it really isn't.
Right.
A company has put millions of dollars into systems, has put millions of dollars into training. You come along and you can access all of that. If you do nothing with it, then you will make nothing, and you can go out and you can blame the system and the business of multi-level marketing if you want. But who's to blame is you.
Right.
There's nobody else to blame. You're useless, you didn't work, you're to blame. End of story. Because the guys who work at this business and who really take it seriously make very, very good money.
Yeah, yeah. Richard, that actually brings us to the end of this episode.
No, come on.
I mean, time flies.
When you're having fun.
When you're having a great time. Fun again.
Exactly.
We're having fun in our job. So, Richard, thank you so much for this time. I really enjoyed it, and I hope everyone out there. I really appreciate us sitting together week on week. I mean, I'm obviously, as I said before, learning a lot, and I think everyone out there is learning the same. So I hope we're providing some good insights and information into this industry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone out there, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you joining Richard and I in this Netready episode. We'll see you next week. Please follow us on all of our channels. We've got our Facebook, LinkedIn, Spotify, as well as our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the bell so you get notifications each time we upload new post content, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye.
Cheers. Thanks.